Hi everyone, this is Matt. I'd like to make a video that explains how to connect your IR blaster system on your TV. What that would allow you to do is use your TV remote control, the Sony TV remote that you use. You could use that to control your cable or satellite box. In this case, we have a TiVo box in our shop, so that's what we're going to be controlling. But what you need to do with that is when you got your TV or when you're setting it up now, you have this IR blaster cable that came with your television in this bag. I've already gotten it out of the bag, but that's what we're going to have to connect to the TV first before we make any adjustments in the menu of the television. So on this TV we're using an 800E, E for Edward model, and the one end we're going to use is a standard 3.5mm connector. What we're going to do in here is we're not going to go to the side. That's HDMI inputs and USB. We have more HDMI inputs here and our optical and headphone out jack. Where this is going to get connected to is right here on the back where it says IR Blaster. Now you probably may have a different model number of a Sony TV, but anything new in a E or F model or recent in Sony's line, 2017, 18, maybe even 16, is going to have an IR Blaster port. So that's the port that you're looking for to connect that. The other end of these cables are going to then come down here and come around to our box. And right here, I'm just going to leave these kind of sitting in front of our box so that, again, we don't know exactly where the IR port is, but before you take that wrap off and tape them on there, just kind of leave them hanging out in front of that box so that you know the best placement on the front of your box for those. Okay, so once we have that done, we're going to take our Sony remote and we're going to hit home. We'll be using the center area of the remote. We're going to hit home. Arrow all the way down to settings. That's what you're going to select. Now arrow down and select up external inputs. And under external inputs, we're going to select IR Blaster Setup. So we select that. And in here, we're going to want to do Set-Top Box Control Setup, because that's what we're going to be controlling. So I'm going to select that. Now it's going to say searching for your set-top box. We're just going to let it go and do its thing. Power on and connect. So here you want to make sure your satellite or cable box is turned on and connected to your TV, to one of the inputs, most likely HDMI. So it is, and I'm going to say OK. Place IR Blaster in front of the set-top box. So make sure the IR Blaster is connected to the TV and in front of the box. It is, so I'm going to say OK again. Searching for your set-top box. And here, if everything's connected right, you're going to see a picture on your screen, which you should. And it says, we're going to check the control now. It says, select the test button. Does it correctly run power on or off? So I'm going to hit test. Now in this particular case, we're not going to see that picture go black because TiVo boxes do not have a power button. Your cable and satellite boxes do. So when you hit test, more than likely you'd want to see that screen go black. Again, I apologize. In this case, a TiVo box does not have a power to turn the box on and off, so we're not going to see that. But I'm going to say yes, it did work correctly. Set up TV program information. Now we're going to ask you some additional information. So I'm going to say, all right, let's start. Well, enter your zip code. Okay, that's easy enough. I'll enter our zip here, and wherever you're at, you enter your zip. And then here you're going to select your provider, whether it's a cable service you have, or Dish, or DirecTV. You're going to find one of them. There'll be a list because it's going to know your zip code. And then that's what you're going to select. It might take a little bit of time, so don't worry about it. I selected it and it took about 10 to 20 seconds to actually complete that. That's all right. So now it says setup complete. I'm going to say, well, okay. So now I'm going to arrow out of this area and get back to our input. Here we've got our picture back. And now the difference is on our Sony remote control, when we're pressing the channel buttons, when I push that, we can see on our TiVo box the channels are changing. So we know then that our remote control is set up correctly to control whatever box that we have. And I keep changing channels down, and we're all good to go. And I'll put a link in the description. In another video, I made a video that explains the operation and things using like action menu and certain menus to control that. Here we can do the same thing, action menu, and this third column is going to then control all the options talking to our cable box. Power, home, menu, the guide, DVR, all kinds of things like that. So that's what that's going to control for us. But I'll put a link in the description to that video. Hopefully this helps and gives you a better idea of how to connect and get your remote and TV set up so that this TV remote can operate your cable or satellite box. Then you can put that cable and satellite box in a drawer or somewhere away. Alright, thanks for watching. If you like, leave any comments, leave any suggestions you would have to make our videos better, and if you'd like, give us a subscribe. Thanks and have a great day.